Offense wins games, but defense wins championships. The great Bear Bryant's quote echoes through the football world. But why exactly does this hold true? Well, we're here to break down the logic and bring you the chess moves that lead to checkmate. As the margins get smaller and the conditions get colder, executing precision moves becomes exponentially trickier. At the same time, the defense's job of disrupting the opponent into disorder gets easier. The first place this can be seen is in coverage, where defenses are generally afforded more contact and physical play. The let 'em play brigade takes over, and DBs are allowed to get away with more contact than would be allowed in the regular season. Add in slippery conditions, and refs are more inclined to keep the flags on their hips. Here, the Rams get tight to show run, or run a 5-step crossing concept, trying to run away from the Bears' shallow defense. However, Chicago does an excellent job to match the dirty bunch look and disrupt the routes with physicality. The Mike gets a bump before passing him off, and they have the second catch and slow Puka and throw off the rhythm. It's illegal contact, but never getting called when Puka helps initiate it. Here's more contact with the ref swallowing their whistle. May's gonna test the one-on-one battle up top, but watch the smarts from Kamari Lassiter to grab as Kyle Williams initiates the contact on the turnaround. Now, it's a grab, but you ain't getting that call with both fighting. And here's more physicality that bumps the route off. Knowing they're getting quarters, it's a nice idea here to get a double move on the corner with Adams, but good technique by Nashawn Wright not to bite, and then lean into Adams and bump him as he gets north. The timing's off, and Adams can't catch up in the snow. And you're playing against the best of the best. Defenders make great plays too. Christian Kirk can't fire full speed out the cut in the wet, and the ball's just slightly inside, allowing Marcus Jones to make a leaping dive and break this up on third. Won't be the last time we see him this video. And more love for the slot position. We covered this defense last week. Go watch that video after this. And in the so-called controversy, not enough is being made about how damn good a play this is by McMillan. Before you start complaining, this is not a catch. You must survive the ground with the ball. He does not. Maybe Allen could put this out in front by a foot, but it's a damn good play. But this time, it's the defense that comes up gold. Coverage physicality is one thing, but pressure is the real key to disruption, and the dial turns up to 11 in the playoffs. They used to say the way to Tom Brady was to get pressure up the middle, but that's meaningless, because that's how you beat any quarterback. Interior pressure ramps up drastically in the playoffs, and this year is the best proof of all. The top 4 teams in the NFL this year in terms of pressures from defensive tackles are the Broncos, the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Patriots. Starting with the latter, they gave CJ Stroud and the Texans hell all day long. They show blitz, but drop back into a match 3. And look how fast Corey Durden bull rushes the center. Stroud immediately has a hand in his face and forces one to the bang route, but Craig Woodson is diving, and he's lucky this wasn't a pick. This time, the Rams do send 5, and it's the twist inside that forces the ball to sail. Watch Kobe Turner burst through and get his hand in as Caleb is winding up, forcing him into a higher release point, sending the ball high and into the hands of a very opportunistic corner. And poor Purdy was running for his life. The Seahawks execute a TE stunt, and as always, the picker becomes the most dangerous man, pinballing his way through. Pausing here, where exactly could the play go but down? Not even Purdy's escaping this one. The regular season sees you facing a representative sample of pass rushing talent, but the cream rises to the top, and the level of edge defender you must keep off your quarterback increases too. It's great on great here with Nick Bonito on Deion Dawkins, but point to the defense on this one, and a game-changing one. Dawkins loves to take a wide split and play flat to the line, really taking the fight to the ends. But the Broncos' double mug look makes him tighten that split, and Bonito shows us he's one of the quickest rushers in the league. Expert get off using the chip to widen, then just flattens his angle and flies to top gear, crunching Allen straight out to half. And although he won't be seen in the next round, Will Anderson tried his very best to keep his team in the dance. His snap timing and get off are equally elite, and then fantastic bend to rip under the tackle and strip May as he attempts to throw. Another reason it becomes easier for the disruptors is that offenses tend to become more predictable in the playoffs. Teams look to their favorite plays, many of which defenses have already seen on tape, and tend to get conservative in big moments. If forced into long downs and already facing trouble from interior rushers, teams are likely to be throwing screens. And if you know this is coming, teams can rally for the tackle. It's also not a surprise that the 4 teams left in the playoffs are also 4 of the best tackling teams. The same predictability carries over in short yardage. While many teams are happy to pass in short yardage scenarios in the regular season, offenses tend to become more traditional and conservative in the playoffs, leaning on the run in these scenarios. While this might seem like a good idea, if the defense knows it's coming, it's your best on their best, with no footing advantage. We've referenced it several times already, but the cold really does change the game. Football is a timing-based game, and treacherous conditions make this challenging, with the disruption crew gaining a 12th defender in the elements. No indoor team has ever won a championship game playing outdoors. 0-15 all time, y'all. Think about that. The first problem is footing. Every route is designed to hit their mark in rhythm with the QB's dropback, allowing anticipated footballs to beat fast-closing defenders. However, when the elements get involved, this all goes out the window. This has been a routine throw that's made the Rams' offense so good this season. Puka has a short motion to show or shift the coverage, and then snaps boundary on an out route. There's been various concepts used, but this has been a money ball. However, Nacua loses footing just slightly out the cut, and the timing is off between him and Stafford. Again, it's a slip out the cut, but this time Stafford sees it and over-adjusts, leaving the ball behind his man. And noticing he's got one-on-one with the long downs, Stafford's gonna throw one up and see if Puka can win this jump ball. But as he rotates and tries to jump, he finds no traction, slipping and turning this into a potential pick opportunity. Footing and timing were a constant problem in the Patriots-Texans game, and here, Cade Stover eats grass on the boot out, leaving Stroud no checkdown option, and he forces a terrible ball across the middle. You've gotta just eat the sack in the rain here, and this one tumbles high and into the arms of punt returner Marcus Jones, not the man who you want with his hands on the football, showing us his acrobatics by carrying Xavier Hutchinson 8 yards and flipping his body to make sure he gets the ball inside the pylon. The next problem is drops, which we see a lot more of in January. Catching the football when it's coming at NFL speeds is no easy task. Make the rock frozen and add in swirling winds, and even the best fall victim. This was Stroud's best read of the day into a Patriots fire zone blitz, and Kirk just flat out drops it. And in the rain, drops lead to interceptions. Another one of his better reads here from Stroud, but the greasy ball goes right off the hands and straight to the free safety. Odunze had a chance on this tough out. Again, a lot of contact through the route with the refs letting him play, but 2 hands on it is a drop in the NFL. However, you know conditions are bad when players like Puka are even struggling. And it doesn't just affect skill position players either. Quarterbacks have to battle the elements too. Catching the snap is tougher, holding on through sacks is harder. Anyone who watched the Patriots-Texans games can tell you that. And throwing also requires more precision and judgment of the flight. Stafford's usually on point, even through the wind. But here, you can see this one really got away from him on the end zone angle. And missing long in the intermediate is dangerous. And this one from Caleb too is pulled wide by the wind. The end zone angle shows us how good an attempt this is, but the wind just carries it too far out of bounds. When you reach the playoffs, you're playing against far greater increase in talent, both from a player perspective and a coaching one. Executing against more talented teams who have even more time to prepare leads to a substantial defensive advantage. The 2 favorite tactics of a defensive coordinator to get in a QB's head are to speed him up or slow him down. When we talk about speeding up a QB, we're usually talking about rushing their decision-making with the blitz. As we covered earlier, pressure ramps up in the playoffs, but so does the creativity in blitz scheming and urgency to move the QB off the spot. This is a nasty hot quarters blitz from the Seahawks and sending 2 backers to overload the side to the back, guaranteeing a free rusher if he goes out into the pattern. Both triangles are playing palms, meaning they're ready for the hot throw to the flat, with Witherspoon pouncing on him for no gain. For more on this coverage, go watch our video on Brian Flores. Condensed bunches invite the corner blitz, and this is a nice job to distribute the bunch when corner joins the rush. Stafford has to throw hot with pressure incoming and is expecting a side adjustment to the flat versus the blitz. But Terrence Ferguson keeps going long, and this ball sails incomplete. The Pats also sent the heat at Stroud often, and the line could not hold up. There's a chance to go long here when the Pats send 6, but the rush is there too fast, and this ball tumbles its way to the checkdown and incomplete. Blitzing isn't ideal in every scenario, And the other tactic DCs will lean on is slowing the QB's reads down with clever match coverages. The Broncos have played excellent man-match defense this year, and this is excellent distribution of the Bills' mesh concept. Allen is left with nowhere to go, and they do a great job to squeeze the pocket with the stunt up front, ready to bring him down when he steps up. Hey, somebody tell Joe Brady he can call plays other than mesh. Here's an excellent rep of Trap 2 by the Bears, shutting down the Rams' sail concept, and bringing pressure with it. Kyle Gordon navigates the chip, and pausing, there's nowhere for Stafford to go, taking a hit and is lucky to hold on to the ball. And quarters coverage has seen an uptick in the playoffs too, making QBs hold on to the football and work through progressions. Here, Purdy reads the bench concept to shut down front side. The bank spot covered on the backside, and by the time he works to his check down, he's getting stripped and the ball's going the other way. When the nights get longer and the conditions get colder, it's an advantage to the defense. And this year is a great show of the proverb. The Final Four hunting down the Lombardi Trophy all have defenses that can shut down their opponent, with many hitting their stride as they reach the playoffs. The game will always be about who scores the most points, but it'll be the defense that determines that on Sunday.